that's all good. But before we go into today's content, I want to thank you guys so much for liking, subscribing, sharing, and commenting on my video. Remember, this energetic love that you are sending me is coming right back to you. Yes, 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 this is a spiritual channel, and I want to thank my angels, my spirit guides, my ancestors, everybody who is supporting me in this journey. Also, I have yoga classes, yes, Wednesdays and Thursdays, and more days will be coming, and the link is in the description box at the bottom, so definitely check them out. We're going to do some meditation, some yoga, loosen our body, kind of get deep within ourselves. Check my classes out. I promise you will not be disappointed. All right, are y'all ready to talk about self-love? And y'all see I got my rose quartz, got my little pink crystals. Rose quartz represents that unconditional love and acceptance for yourself. Remember, I sell these at my website. If you like them and you're interested in them, definitely I'll put that link in the description as well. All right, you ready for real, for real? Let's go into today's content. Okay, so when talking about self-love, it's really, really important to identify the self. And so there are so many dimensions to the human being, but when we're talking about the core of our existence, it's the soul. It's that driving force that literally keeps us going. It's deep in our core. And the soul is directly connected to the universal consciousness, to nature, spirit, God, whatever you want to call it, it is a direct correlation to that. So we literally have the universe deep inside our core, our soul, right inside of us. And so really, really understanding that and tapping into your true power is going to really, really connect you deeper to yourself. Okay, so we may ask, what is self-love? But I want to be clear that self-love is not just that concept of, oh, I like myself, oh, I look good, oh, woo, woo, woo. No, self-love is very, very deep. It starts with literally speaking to yourself with love, forgiving yourself if you made a mistake, accepting yourself, talking to yourself unjudgmentally. Because a lot of times we're so hard on ourselves, we don't allow ourselves to make mistakes. And that's literally what self-love is, being okay with the fact that you messed up. Man, how could you learn if you don't mess up? How could you grow if you don't mess up? But then self-love goes back to being able to observe yourself so that you can make the necessary changes so that when you are in that similar situation, you won't make the same mistakes twice. Self-love is accepting and honoring your deepest, darkest desires, your triggers, the dark night of the soul, really, really having those deep, scary conversations with yourself that sometimes we ain't ready to have, right? But that's what self-love is. Self-love is setting boundaries. It's saying, you know what? I know that this is not good for me in this moment, and I'm okay with that. Self-love is being able to take accountability of your actions. A lot of times when people struggle with taking accountability, it's because they don't see themselves. They're unable to see themselves in a situation. And that is a direct connection to low self-esteem. Self-love is being true to yourself. And I feel like, honestly, in this society, that's one of the hardest things because we live in a society that projects all of these different ideologies about this is how you should be, this is how you should look, this is how you should talk, and this is what beauty is, this is what intelligence is, this is what this is. And in reality, like, that is so challenging. It's so challenging to be able to find your true soul, but we are all so freaking unique and multidimensional. We're all so different, but that's the beauty of self-love and understanding that it's okay to be you. It's okay to be true to yourself. Our self-esteem is our personal source of power. It's that driving force that fuels us to wake up every day and to know that we have purpose on our spirits. When you don't have self-esteem and when you don't love yourself, you don't feel worthy to get out of bed, to do things, to see yourself in a positive light. When you have self-esteem, you're more likely to have fun. You're more likely to trust yourself and to trust yourself enough to speak up in maybe uncomfortable situations. When your self-esteem is high, guess what? It radiates to others, and then it helps to build their self-esteem, because when they see you glowing with your own personal source of power, ooh, they like, ooh, let me get some of that power, but let me allow that to radiate within myself. Literally, it's such a beautiful component, because love is the driving force of our world. Without love, man, what would this world be? Where would we be at without love? Anybody struggle with that? Yes, raise your hand. It's okay. It's nothing wrong with that. I know for a fact, for a long time in my life, I literally struggle with my self-esteem, and it's something that I'm continuing to work on, and I'm continuing to embody. Just working on accepting myself, accepting every part of me, even if sometimes I'm like, I'm feeling a little shaky, right? But it's just accepting and just observing and not being judgmental with yourself. That is the best way to build your self-esteem. So people who have high self-esteem, your self-esteem is not going to be high all the time. Sometimes we're triggered, and sometimes the universe triggers us so that we can grow and we can expand. But that trigger is not something that shakes you to the core. It's not something that breaks you down. And so now we're going to kind of go into what that low self-esteem looks like, and how that low self-esteem literally affects every aspect of your life. When we don't connect with ourselves on the basis of love, you are going to attract people and situations that may be indifferent to you, or also that may hate you and may want to cause you pain. And this is not a conscious thing. So I really want to be clear when talking about the conscious and the subconscious. So our subconscious, that reptilian brain, that literally survival part of us, is literally 90% more powerful than the conscious mind. So the conscious mind is what you're thinking on a daily basis, but the subconscious is your patterns, your deep ingrained beliefs, your shadow side, your triggers. And it comes out maybe in certain times or certain areas, however that looks. That subconscious, it attracts anything that you are unconsciously feeling about yourself. When your self-esteem is low, you might struggle with financial issues, with making decisions, with meeting people that you feel like are judgmental to you, that you feel like might not support you, but in reality, you're not supporting yourself. You're not giving yourself love. And a lot of times I hear so many people say, man, this person that I'm dating, or I keep dating or meeting the same people, or this person talking about the person that they're dating in a way that is negative. But I want to be clear that you are what you attract. So if you're constantly, consistently attracting somebody, you are in a cycle. And you have to take a step back and say, hey, what is it about myself? What's going on in my subconscious that I'm constantly attracting this person? If you're struggling with being by yourself and just literally sitting in your house vibing with yourself, then we're going to have to take a deeper look at what's going on with me. What is it that I need to do within myself to love on myself a little more? And I'm going to be honest with you. The journey to self-love, it is not easy. This is not easy work. It is hard. But if you want to transform the relationships in your life, your financial situation, your career, any aspect of your life, it all starts with that self-love. It all starts with accepting yourself and giving yourself that support. Majority of the times when our self-love is low, it is because the messages that we were given as a child. Our parents might have not intentionally done things that decreased our self-esteem, but a lot of times we are socialized into this box of this is how you should be, this is how you should look, this is how you are, and that's not really who you are, and that causes grief because you're not able to really be your true self. And sometimes you just got to take a moment to grieve the loss of yourself and then reclaim it. Reclaim that self, man. Reclaim that love for yourself. A lot of my work is directly correlated to that body-mind connection. So I just want to be clear that when you're struggling with self-esteem, you literally might struggle with breathing. I know for me, getting into this practice of yoga, I literally struggled with breathing so intensely. And I had to literally be intentional with focusing on opening my heart chakra. So you might struggle with chest pains, you might have heart palpitations. But that's like when your heart is beating really, really fast, or you might have irregular heartbeats. It might even lead to heart disease, heart attacks, but really, really, really understanding that that heart is directly connected to that self-esteem and that self-love. I am going to discuss a couple things that you can do, of course, to help to connect to that unconditional love. And I'm going to do a video later on going a little more deeper into what that looks like. But the first thing I'm going to say is start with accepting yourself. And that's not always easy. No, it's not. It's not easy to accept things that you're like, man, I hate this, or I need to change this. But just start with accepting it first. Before going into that, I need to change it. Accept what it is. Acknowledge what it is. Honor what it is. Because it is who you are. And that's okay. That's the beautiful thing, the most amazing thing about you, right? Accepting it is number one. And I think with acceptance, I would say really, really starting with affirmations. Like, for example, like something I've been telling myself every week, every day this week, starting off is, I accept myself. I accept myself. I accept myself. And literally, it's just repetition because what you're doing, you're breaking down that programming in that subconscious brain by consciously telling yourself. And it's going to reprogram your subconscious. It might take some time, but that's okay. I would definitely be intentional with my boundaries. That's something, I ain't gonna lie to you, my mama always calls me Miss Self-Care because I do not play about my boundaries, and I do not play. Sometimes they might be a little too rigid. Hey, I'm willing to acknowledge it and accept it. But really, setting boundaries when necessary. If you're like, hey, I'm not feeling it, don't feel it and stay home, do what you need to do, whatever that looks like. But really setting those boundaries for yourself, and don't overdo yourself. No is definitely a sentence. No period. I'm good, love, enjoy. And it does not have to be mean, but you're just setting a boundary for yourself to protect your energy. And that's so important. The last thing I would recommend, so anytime like you have a negative thought that is going through your head about yourself, like for example, if yourself is saying, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, I'm not this, I'm not that, I would always have a counter thought to basically drown out that thought. So even if like you're saying like I'm not good enough, have that thought say I'm the best, I'm amazing, I'm powerful, I'm strong. You know, really having those counter thoughts would be really good. Because honestly, the battle is all within yourself. It's all within yourself. You're not battling anybody else. There's nothing out to get us. The only thing that is out to get us is ourselves. And just integrating the dark and the light is really going to help you to embody that self-love. Alright guys, I hope this helped. Man, I hope this helped. I appreciate you guys so much. Once again, like I said, thank you so much. Like for liking, subscribing, commenting, and sharing. I so appreciate this. Check out my yoga classes. I promise you, ouch, like I said, you will not be surprised. I got too excited. And also check out my Crystals Rose course. This is really good for self-love.